Here we have the complete coverage of the topics discussed in the interview given to GQ by Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of PlayStation and Sony Interactive Entertainment, including the announcement of next-gen PSVR for the PlayStation 5, delayed games, PlayStation games coming to PC, Jim Ryan's statement on the scarcity of the PS5 and restocks, Cyberpunk's future on the PS5. We are also discussing about the return of PlayStation's Play at Home initiative, and the next State of Play presentation for the PS4 and PS5. So before jumping into the topics, if you are new, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification icon for knowing instant updates, more interesting and informative topics in the daily gaming world. Now let's jump in. So starting things off with the newly announced next-gen VR for the PS5. 4 years ago, Sony launched PlayStation VR, the company's first foray into virtual reality gaming. The device, which was powered by the PlayStation 4, was the first commercially available console VR headset and drew mainstream attention to the blooming VR gaming market, while also making it even more accessible for all PlayStation 4 owners. After launching the PlayStation 5 with some inconvenient PSVR compatibility, Sony has finally announced its plans for the next PlayStation VR device. When the PlayStation 5 launched, PlayStation VR owners were disappointed to learn that Sony had no plans for PlayStation 5 native PSVR titles, and that the console was not natively compatible with the device. In order to use PSVR on PS5, fans were required to request a USB adapter for the device's PlayStation camera component, and to use a DualShock 4 to play backwards compatible titles. On top of this, titles like Hitman 3 do not support PSVR on the PS5 version, only supporting the device through the PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility function. With these roundabout solutions to playing PSVR on PS5, it seemed like Sony was indirectly conveying that it was done with VR gaming, and had no intention of bringing it to PS5. Today, Sony has announced that it is currently developing a next-generation PlayStation VR headset for PlayStation 5 that will enhance everything from resolution and field of view to tracking and input. The device will also release alongside a new VR controller, which takes advantage of the same technology used in the DualSense. Sony has clarified that the device will not launch in 2021. However, developers have already started creating titles for the headset. With this announcement, Sony has reaffirmed its commitment to virtual reality gaming, claiming it is stronger than ever. This new VR system will offer dramatic leaps in performance and interactivity. This new system won't launch in 2021, but it will enhance everything about the headset and connect to the PS5 via a single cord, to simplify setup and improve ease of use, while enabling a high-fidelity visual experience. Addressing one of the biggest criticisms leveled towards the PS4 version, which required an entire separate processing unit that required its own power source, resulting in a mess of cables. There is no mention as to whether this headset will be completely cordless like some have speculated, with this single cable connecting to a wireless box or hub the headset connects to, but we could still see it being wired. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan has revealed that the upcoming PSVR PS5 headset will feature a newly designed VR controller that will incorporate a number of key features found in the DualSense pad. Ryan said that, "One of the innovations we're excited about is our new VR controller, which will incorporate some of the key features found in the DualSense wireless controller, along with a focus on great ergonomics. That's just one of the examples of future-proof technology we're developing to match our vision for a whole new generation of VR games and experiences." Jim Ryan also revealed that game creators have already got their hands on development kits for the newly unveiled PS5 PSVR headset. Speaking to GQ, Ryan made it clear that developers are already underway at creating fresh experiences for the new PSVR headset. He stated that, "There's still a lot of development underway for our new VR system, so it won't be launching in 2021. But we wanted to provide this early update to our fans, as the development community has started to work on creating new worlds for you to explore in virtual reality." Now let's take a look into specs. Sony has confirmed that the new PSVR headset will offer a massive leap in performance and interactivity, and is set to enhance everything about the existing model for the PS4. Features such as input, resolution, tracking and more will be greatly overhauled for PS5 users. Most of the info regarding a possible PSVR 2 is speculation based off patent filings unearthed online. One of the biggest likely features is haptic feedback, which is a tech manufactured by Immersion Corp, who Sony recently partnered with. This also ties in with a VR glove that was patented by Sony, which is set to utilize haptic technology, suggesting Sony is looking to evolve its VR headset for the next generation. Another recently released patent provides in-depth information on how the PSVR 2 will use full facial tracking to map a player's facial features onto an in-game character model too. Systems and method for providing a see-through screen in a head-mounted display, HMD, includes a display screen having a front side and a back side. The display screen is configured for rendering media content. First optics is provided adjacent to the front side of the display screen and configured to provide a focus for viewing the media content. However, by far the most interesting and verified piece of information is that the PSVR 2 will use a new kind of motion controller that is similar to Valve's Index controllers. More than that, a recently released video has illustrated how the new PSVR 2 controllers will support finger tracking too. It makes sense that the PSVR 2 would use all new controllers, as not only does the PS5 DualSense controller seemingly not support PSVR, thanks to the lack of light bar on the pad, but the PS3-era PlayStation Move controllers simply aren't up to the task anymore. More recently, a new patent has indicated that the PSVR 2 will reduce sickness and provide a more immersive experience for its users. Specifically, it talks about a new info processing system that will provide a user who views a virtual space with a viewing experience with high entertainment characteristics. Next one is the price. So far, no price has been released regarding PSVR 2. Given the premium price point of the previous model, we can probably expect something in the range of at least $249.99, especially with the Meteor technology on hand. However, we can only speculate at present. Sony also hasn't announced any PSVR 2 games at present, but has said that development kits are already in the hands of studios, who are busy creating new worlds. However, a strong rumor points to the fact that the studio which developed the superb Blood and Truth for the current PSVR headset is working on new, next-generation title for PSVR 2. Also, one of the first PSVR 2 titles may very well turn out to be lo-fi and immersive cyberpunk adventure. And finally, Sony has only confirmed that a new PSVR is in the works, so it's clear the device is a long way off yet. What we do know for certain is that PSVR 2 will not launch in 2021. That's about all Sony will say on the matter for now. PlayStation VR first launched in 2016, and has gone on to sell over 5 million units, as of January 2020. While Sony's first-party support dwindled following the device's launch, the platform has still maintained a strong following, with titles such as Star Wars Squadrons and Dreams supporting the device last year. In recent years, the current headset's hardware has begun to show its age, with many criticizing its low-resolution output, and titles such as Half-Life Alyx skipping the platform due to its older, more restrictive hardware. This announcement is huge and came out of nowhere after months of rumors about a new VR system. As for what we can expect game-wise, we will have to wait and see, and we are likely still a year or two away from a full reveal. I am very much excited for this and cannot wait to play Resident Evil Village on PSVR 2.
So we finally meet.
Up next we have Jim Ryan's statement on games that were delayed to 2022. The coronavirus has made things difficult for the video game industry. Developers and publishers such as Sony have seen a decrease in productivity due to both quarantines and the adaptations necessary to operate in them, such as working remotely from home. How quickly the PlayStation 5 sells out is a good example of this. Sony isn't able to create the amount of PlayStation 5s necessary to keep up with demand in part because of its working conditions. As a result, some people have wondered what this means for the many highly anticipated PlayStation 5 games releasing in 2021, such as Horizon Forbidden West. News magazine GQ recently had the chance to ask PlayStation boss Jim Ryan about upcoming games in a spontaneous 20-minute interview, and according to him, Sony feels very good about the release schedules for Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Returnal. Ryan didn't say exactly why Sony has faith in its scheduled releases. However, he did say that if developers need more time to finish their games, Sony will give it to them as proven by Returnal's delay. Ryan explains Sony's reasoning for delaying games by taking shots at Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red. Apparently, Sony prefers to ship its games out because they're ready to hit shelves, and not because it wants to meet a release date. All in all, if Sony's comfortable with Horizon Forbidden West and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, that's probably good news for both games. Ratchet & Clank just received its release date, so it would be a shame if it suffered a delay. That said, it's likely the release took any delays into account considering how recently it was announced. As for Forbidden West, it is supposed to come out in the latter half of 2021, so a delay could potentially push it into the 2022 time frame. Guerrilla Games recently shifted its focus from Zero Dawn's PC port to Horizon Forbidden West, so the game's release date might crop up soon, especially if it's not expecting a delay. At the moment, the title doesn't have too many details to its name, so what fans can expect from it is more or less just speculation. Even if a release date is far off, it would be nice to know something about what it plans to do differently from its predecessor, and how it plans to evolve the more favored aspects of Zero Dawn. The delayed games were Gran Turismo 7, God of War sequel. In a statement provided to GQ, Sony stated that Gran Turismo 7 has been impacted by COVID-related production challenges and therefore will shift from 2021 to 2022. With the ongoing pandemic, it's a dynamic and changing situation, and some critical aspects of game production have been slowed over the past several months. We'll share more specifics on GT7's release date when available. This is disappointing to hear, but if any PlayStation exclusive was going to get delayed, Gran Turismo 7 was it, as the series has suffered delays with nearly every installment. COVID-19 has affected a number of games, but the amount of production and fine-tuning that goes into Gran Turismo 7 each time likely means that a lot of polishing has been sidelined or diverted to help with the issues that the current pandemic has created. Sony has yet to announce a concrete God of War Ragnarok release date, but according to comments from Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier, the game will not be launching for PS5 in 2021. Kratos and Atreus' next outing was only previously confirmed for a vague 2021 window by Sony late last year, but it seems that this is now off the cards. Nothing official has been announced by Sony, but with Gran Turismo 7 now postponed into 2022, anything is possible. So, whilst you will have to wait a while for the next game in the series, there are still a lot of PS5 exclusives coming out this year. Moving forward, Sony is officially confirming its move into the PC space, announcing that Days Gone will be coming to the platform in spring. In an interview with GQ, Jim Ryan stated that the game would be heading to the platform alongside a whole slate of other games following Days Gone's release. Deeper down in the interview, Ryan states that releasing these games on PC introduces them to a wider audience, and that the extra sales help offset the development costs. Ryan also states that there was no huge negative reaction from the PlayStation community when it comes to the release of Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, which helped them come to this conclusion. So, what do you think about this new plan from Sony, and are you one of the people who are playing these games on PC? Which PlayStation exclusives should get ported to the new platform first? Jim Ryan also highlighted that he is very sorry that PS5 has been in short supply, and that the company is working as hard as we possibly can. However, he also offered some optimism for those still waiting, stating that he is confident the game will be easier to find soon. Ryan then goes on to say that the supply will increase as each month passes. The situation will start to get better hopefully quite quickly. He said that we've been relentless in terms of trying to increase production, and I really can't say any more than that. You may have read that we sold 4.5 million PS5s at the end of December. That's more than we did PS4s in 2013, and that was the high watermark for the PlayStation generation. So, with everything in the world throughout last year, we feel like that was fairly decent. 1 in 4 of those who have bought a PlayStation 5 do not have a PS4, and those around about half are new to the PlayStation network. So it's really nice that we're able to bring in people from outside. I know there were people who wanted a PS5 and couldn't find one. We're very sorry about that and obviously grateful that demand has been as strong as it is. When asked about PS5 production issues, Jim Ryan stated that, obviously in a pandemic supply chains become a little more complicated than would normally be the case. You know, one very visible example is the difficulties in the semiconductor market. You know, whether it's automobiles, smartphones, PCs or games consoles, the problems in all those areas are very widely documented. We had to move to a distribution model that is entirely online, and that's something that we never had to do before. And finally, just the level of demand for PlayStation 5. So, you know, all of those things kind of combined. An exact time frame wasn't given on when this supply will increase, but a bunch of new stock has been released in the UK in the past week, so hopefully, those in the US and in Asia will see a nice drop of PS5s soon.
What's that? A kraken? Or at least a very large octopus.
Here comes the cheeky part as PlayStation boss seems to throw some shade at developer CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077 mishap. Among a ton of interesting information to come from that interview, some noticed that there seems to be a bit of bad blood between Sony and Cyberpunk 2077. This is in no way overtly stated, but one comment in particular seems to throw shade at the game and its developer, CD Projekt Red. Because of the subtle nature of this comment, fans should take it with a grain of salt, but it does seem to obviously be a sort of call-out. At one point, GQ interviewer Robert Leadham asks Ryan about some of the recent delays that have hit May first-party Sony games, and Ryan's response is interesting. He goes on to explain that there are really only two approaches to game development regarding delays. A studio can either hold on to the game until it is finished and ready to ship before releasing it, or it can release it at a certain date regardless of how close it is to being finished. Ryan says not so subtly that there have been high-profile instances of publishers releasing unfinished games. Though he doesn't say it outright, this is almost certainly a call-out of Cyberpunk 2077. Despite being one of the most anticipated games of 2020, the console release of Cyberpunk 2077 was a disaster, so much so that Sony had to pull it off the PlayStation Store. This resulted in several refunds being issued, a process that Sony has never been too fond of, and a host of other issues. It makes sense that Ryan wouldn't be too happy about the situation, but it's surprising to see him reference it like this. Before moving on, Ryan reassures fans that Sony studios are taking the other approach, and that while delays are unfortunate, they are necessary to create finished and polished games. Given the current state of the world, most fans are very understanding when it comes to delays, and thanks to Cyberpunk 2077, it seems that developers feel even more pressure to put out quality products.
That's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this, too.
As a mercenary, you swear no allegiance. You've chosen the outlaw life, and trust that your abilities will carry you up Night City's ruthless, underground social ladder.
Heart of Night City. That's it right there.
Well, here we are again at a situation of another Konami ties and Japanese studio news as Jim Ryan has discussed the company's connection to Japanese licenses and developers in an interview with Famitsu, saying that it is strong and will strengthen into the future. Translated by Jamatsu, Jim Ryan states that Sony Interactive Entertainment has strong ties with Japanese licenses, so going forward we would like to continue to strengthen that cooperation and develop titles made in Japan for PlayStation fans around the world. This statement comes after multiple reports and rumors have suggested that Sony as a company is abandoning Japan, and that the PlayStation brand as a whole is in decline in the country. The highlighting of those Japanese ties continuing into the future could suggest we are in for some high-profile exclusives on PS5 beyond what we know about, like Final Fantasy XVI and Project Athia. Who knows, we might even get the Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid games that was rumored last week. Now taking the interview of Jim Ryan to a conclusion, we are ought to discuss the PlayStation State of Play is going to be coming out in 2 days, and with it a variety of announcements for games on Sony's main home consoles. As game announcements have gone increasingly digital, Sony created the State of Play series to support the trend. Similar to the well-known Nintendo Directs, these videos provide more detail into new games. And with PlayStation 5 consoles selling out fast, fans will be wondering what titles are in store for the next generation. Those looking forward to this presentation can expect details for both of Sony's current home consoles. From the Post, it looks like the broadcast will be focusing on updates and deep dives for games on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. To keep expectations in check, there will be 10 games in the video. However, this does include some new announcements for third-party and independent titles. According to the PlayStation blog post, the State of Play will be airing this Thursday, February 25th. For those in different time zones, make sure to hop on at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The whole show will run around 30 minutes, so overall it is going to be fairly short, but with plenty of content. Keep in mind, there will not be any news about PlayStation hardware or business side activities. If wondering where to watch, the post specifically mentions bringing up YouTube or Twitch for the presentation. This is going to come as an exciting update for PlayStation fans. While there have been some great PS5 launch titles, players will want to know more. Plus, those who are still gaming on PS4 will not be left out of the loop either. Occasionally, these types of presentations can spend a lot of time on projects that are not necessarily tangible, and more directed at the company's strategy. Fortunately, this does not seem to be the case for this State of Play. Of course, 30 minutes of pure gaming action for both the current and next generations should be substantial for players. What is unclear is whether or not there will be any solid release dates from this reveal. While teaser trailers or new announcements can be entertaining, it is important that games actually come out for Sony's consoles. So far, PlayStation 5 has not had a ton of next-generation games, and a potential lack of release dates could cause some backlash. After Nintendo's recent Direct was missing major games, PlayStation fans should keep expectations in check. In any case, the State of Play will be out soon and hopefully a bunch of great reveals with it. And our final news is the PlayStation Play at Home initiative, giving PS4 and PS5 owners 4 months of free games and other offers. When the COVID-19 pandemic started in 2020, Sony launched its PlayStation Play at Home campaign. The concept was simple: for a limited time, anyone with a PlayStation 4 could claim critically acclaimed games Journey and Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection completely free of charge, no PlayStation Plus subscription required, and they could keep the games forever. The hope was to keep people entertained while they were stuck at home during lockdown, and now Sony is bringing the PlayStation Play at Home initiative back for 2021. From March to June, PlayStation fans on PS4 and PS5 can look forward to 4 months of free games and other offers. Things are getting started on March 1st at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is when PlayStation fans can claim their free copy of the 2016 Ratchet & Clank remake. Earning positive reviews at the time of its release, the game is a reimagining of the first Ratchet & Clank game and designed to bring it more in line with the Ratchet & Clank feature film. Anyone interested has until March 31st at 8 p.m. Pacific Time to claim it for their collection. A free copy of Ratchet & Clank isn't the only perk that fans can look forward to in March. Starting March 25th, Sony's anime streaming service Funimation, Wakanim in Europe, will be giving extended access to new subscribers who download the Funimation or Wakanim apps on March 25th. More details on the Funimation promotion will be made available at a later date. With the new season of My Hero Academia kicking off on March 27th, it's pretty good timing for anime fans that aren't already subscribed to Funimation. Sony is kicking off the new PlayStation Stay-at-Home campaign in a big way with a free copy of Ratchet and Clank and extended access to Funimation. The bar is set high for April, May and June, and it will be interesting to see how Sony tops its March offerings. Details on what the next few months will feature in terms of free games and entertainment offers are unavailable at this time, but fans will likely learn about them on a month-to-month basis. Of course, those who are subscribed to PlayStation Plus will be able to look forward to even more free games from Sony. The free PS Plus games for February 2021 are still available to claim, and fans will likely learn about the free PS Plus games for March 2021 on Wednesday, February 24th. Assuming Sony keeps with the pattern it's established since the PS5's launch last November, the free PS Plus games for March 2021 will likely consist of 2 PS4 games and 1 PS5 title. And that all for the video, guys. If you are interested, give it a like and share the video. Comment your thoughts on the new next-gen PSVR and the other topics. And until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.